Hi everybody, Don Giannatti, lighting-essentials.com and project52prosystem.com. I love making photographs of nature, even though I don't consider myself a nature photographer. I'm always, looking for something that has man in the picture. In other words, something from humans that have been left. I like pictures of areas with roads through them, and I like telephone poles. I like fences. I like stuff left on the side of the road. So I'm not pristine shooter, but I happened to be up in Glacier National Monument, National Park, as I was coming back from my my shortened trip to Alaska, and the fires were raging not too far outside of Montana. Oh, actually, they were in Montana, but not too far outside of the park when I was there, and the smoke was just simply unbelievable. The views were totally restricted. It was kind of a terrible time. But I like to, I still photographed it. It's had a good time. And I wanted to share with you a couple of Photoshop things that I do. And I know a lot of people know about these, but I think many people don't. We're going to use LUTS today. Just LUTS. They're in your Photoshop already, and you can actually purchase extra LUTS other places. But let's check the ones that are in Photoshop out and see what we can do to make a couple of these shots that I'm working with here just a little bit better. This shot was taken early in the morning, not too long after I dropped my motorcycle on my left shoulder, which I, at this point, did not realize was in as bad a shape as it was. It was not good, I got to tell you. A lot of pain, Stop the bike. Hard to get off the bike, but hey, you got to do it for a shot like this, you know what I'm saying? So let's use LUTS today. Let's try working with this. By the way, this shot is straight out of Lightroom. This is the shot as it was taken, so I want everybody to know that. LUTS are down here in the, oh, can we get that to go up somehow? I can't. I don't know if this is recording on your box. Let me see if I pull it down a bit lower, if it'll go up. Yes, there we go. Color Lookup. Color Lookup is where we're going. And we're going to go to the 3D LUT file, load 3D LUTs. Now, you've got these all entered in here. And like I said, you can purchase other LUTs if there's things that you see that you'd like to have. You can grab those. But these do a pretty cool job. And I think if you know how to work with them, apply them a little bit, they can really, really make some very cool images. So I'm going to take this shot that's kind of dull from all the smoke in the air, as you can see this morning, and I'm going to go to moonlight, which makes it, as you can see, very blue. This is at full strength. The nice thing about LUTs is not only are they on their own layer, but they're also manipulatable. You can mess with them. Anyway, they're a mask, so we have this mask that we can work with. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the opacity here down to, say, 50%. Yeah, 50%. And then because I want to bring some of this up here, I can actually take some of the blue out by clicking on the mask, grabbing my brush at black, because black will reveal the items below. And I'm going to take a little bit of that blue out of these trees here. Not at 10%, I'm not, Don. You're going to have to go up to about 70%. You can play with it a little bit. We're going to take some of the blue out of these trees here. These trees facing me, I'm going to get the green back into them. So I'm just painting. You can see what I'm doing over here on the mask. Just bringing it back with a little bit of green. There we go. I'm also going to drop it now down to about a 20%. I'm going to see if I can get some of this blue out of this water right here. It's a little bit too blue for me, right there. Yeah, so we got a little bit of warmth back in the water, which is how I felt at the time the shot should be. This should be warm in here, so again, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That's too heavy. Let's go back down here to about 10 or 11%. I'm going to sweep through here once, maybe up there a little bit, and get that warmth of that smoke back into there, because I think, you know, I'm not trying to make it look like I didn't have any smoke. I had smoke, so I'm just trying to make it look a little bit better. So the color lookup table gave me this really deep blue, and now I've been able to manipulate the mask by using it as a mask and reveal what's below it a little bit, and I can do that again. Here's the cool thing with LUTs, you can stack them up. I'm going to go down. I'm going to grab color lookup again. I'm going to go into 3D LUTs. I don't know what I'm going to do. Let me see if late sunset. That sounds pretty stupid to put on this blue one. Ooh. On the other hand, that's kind of cool. Let's see what we got here. We got this late lookup here. Our late color lookup 2 is late sunset. Let me drop this opacity down a little bit. Pull it up. Oh, that gives it a look at that real pretty purpley kind of color here, especially in the water, which is where I'm really liking it. Really liking it down in the mountains and the water. So once again, fantastic. We're going to click on the mask, and I'm going to grab my brush with black, and I'm going to get a little bit more, maybe 28%. And I want to paint that blue in back up here, because I like that blue sky in here. Do like that, but I love the purple coming from there's a feeling that it's coming from the warmth and the smoke there. Yeah, there we go. Let's take a little bit of that purple out down here, just a little bit down in the water. And there we go. That's kind of fun. What I want you to do, what I'm trying to do is encourage you to play with the LUTs, play with your masks. You can do a lot more with it. I'm going to finish this picture off with something that I do on most every photograph. Let's add a new layer, add overlay, fill it, file, edit, fill with 50% gray. And then I'm going to use my little brush here with white on it. You don't necessarily have to fill it with 50% gray, folks. It'll work as well without doing it, but I like to do it so I can see what I've got, and you can see what I'm talking about. So I've got down to 9% on opacity here, and I'm just going to drag that little white brush, painting with white, with no color in the white because it's on a 50% gray panel. I'm going to paint that in here. I'm going to paint this down here just a little bit. Try to see if I can get a little more brightness right in there. That'll separate that ridge from the background there. Also, we're down around this this little island right back there. Just to set the island off, I'm going to bring it out a little bit brighter here, just a little bit. As you can see, I'm also going to do it to these leaves right in here. And as you can see, we've got a little bit more interesting photograph. Now, this is where I've ended up here. And again, I didn't do this before we did it. I did it right here. I'm just kind of playing with the LUTs, which is what I'm trying to encourage you guys to do too. Let's see what we've got here. That's where we started. That's where we ended up. Not bad, huh? Got a second shot here that was very, very, I exposed it under. I wanted this feeling of that little wispy cloud there with the sun behind it. I just wanted this feeling of solemn landscape. It was, it was terrible that the fires were raging, and I just wanted to get something out of this. So normally I'd probably reach for some other tools and maybe go over to Nick and do something with Nick in here, but we're going to do LUTs today. We're going to go right up here to the color lookup. I'm going to go to color lookup, First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Moonlight, because I think Moonlight really does a nice job with this. I want this dark, look at that, dark, moody, moonlit kind of feeling here. Let's open it up a little bit. It's a little bit dark. Let's take it to 60%. All right. All right, 60% there, Moonlight. I think I'm going to leave that in position. I'm going to leave that at 60. I'm not going to do anything with the mask, but I'm going to grab another one here, color lookup. And let's try, what happens late sunset again? No, that didn't work at all. I didn't think it would. Let's try drop blues. Let's try this. There we go. We got this sort of funky flattening of color here. It takes, this is the blue. We just flatten it a little bit, but we're going to take the opacity down to about 50%. And that way we still have the blue. We just don't have that edgy blue to it. I'm going to add my layer. Overlay. This time I'm going to, I'm not going to put the 50% gray black on, 50% gray, because I really don't need to. At this point, I'm going to come in at 9%. I'm going to brighten that cloud's edge just a little bit right in here. Right there. And then these clouds down here, I'm going to open them up just a little bit on those edges. Get a little more. Now the rocks down here seem really cool. They're kind of shiny. Do you see that? They were some sort of I don't know, basalt or something, but they were pretty cool. So I'm going to open up these rocks down here. Giving them a little bit of shine. You can see I'm at 9%. You can hear how many times I'm clicking. At least I hope you can hear the click. I can certainly hear it. To bring that up. Now, did we do a whole lot? Yeah, we kind of did, huh? Kind of cool. All right, this guy going back, I'm going to open him up just a little bit. Take this little patch of light back on both sides. Come out big. And now we've got that just sort of leads us to it. Yep, I think I did a little too much, so I'm going to lower the opacity to about 80%. Yep, and that's our shot. So, like I say, I want to really expand on the idea of creating really cool photographs and using LUTS, color lookup tables. So hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time, and have a great week.